Thank you for staying with us. Now, this segment is quite interesting because before the segment even started, we already were getting tweets from different people talking about this. One of those tweets says, "Please, we have waited enough. We are tired of court cases without end. Please release our money." It has to do with some people who say they invested their monies. Some 14,000 members who invested their monies to buy shares from NOSPETCO Oil and Gas Company Limited, but unfortunately, their monies have been trapped, and they want
for 13 years.
For 13 years, they want their money. Anyway, they are here to give us more details. We have Akinyemi Kayode, Olufowote Olushoga, and Benedict Ikwenobe, all of them who are NOSPECTO investors. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you. Good morning.
Let's begin with you, Benedict. Tell us about this whole thing.
Thank you very much. We all, like you rightly said, we are totally close to 14,000 investors. NOSPETCO Oil and Gas Company did not actually advertise for investors. It was this man-to-man information. And most of us then that was even the time the banks were retrenching and all that. And money paid to most of the investors were plowed in there. We were buying slots at 450,000 per one. Some people bought 4, 5, 2, 20, 30, even up to 50. And I must say here that I was privileged to even meet Alhaji Meyaki, who happens to be the owner of NOSPETCO Oil and Gas. And from what he told me and things I saw with him, I was convinced it was not an illegal business. But along the line, we realized that the banks that he was using, I must mention some, GTB, UBA, First Bank, Union Bank, I think AfriBank or so, I'm not too sure now.
Usually bank.
And then the banks approached him from what he told me, that the money in his account, they cannot access it easily. That rather, they advised him to allow the banks take the investors' fund so that they can reinvest it and make money out of it. He saw that as a trap and he refused. So the banks, according to him, ganged up, approached SEC and CBN that he was sourcing for funds without being a bank. And based on that, they came up with the idea of classifying NOSPETCO along with some other corporations as wonder banks and illegal funds managers. Bam! They closed all the accounts, the company's account in those banks, and took the money into CBN, amounted to about 23.7 billion.
Yeah. Yes.
We now approached the owner, who is my Alhaji Meyaki. He said, well, he is going to court, which he did. Unfortunately, he lost. We now said, well, what do we do next? Some people came up amongst us. Definitely, leaders will always emerge. They came up and said, okay, the best thing we should do is approach the industrial court to ask for relief, which we went. After several outing, the case was thrown out that it was not an industrial matter, that we should go to the regular High Court. We went to the High Court. Initially, it was the owner of NOSPETCO was joined. But along the line, the case was also thrown out. We went on appeal. From appeal, we got to the Supreme Court. But before we got to the Supreme Court, money was collected from investors by the leaders then, amounting to approximately close to 70 million to prosecute this matter. I think in fighting between them, who to take what and what to take what, we had factions. They created factions among them. That now created a problem at the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court advised them to go and harmonize and then come back. Yeah. That has been impossible for 13 years. And the poor investors continue to suffer. So we called ourselves, do we wait for these people? They appear to be fighting. We are not fighting. We want to make an appeal to government, because the owner of even NOSPETCO is enjoying himself somewhere in the north, doing his business, other businesses. Our own money is there. But along the line, some of us made some moves. Like myself, I wrote NDIC to ask for assistance. They replied me that, well, it is true that the money is, even though they said it's not up to 23.7 billion, but they agree that the money is with CBN. And they are making efforts to look for a way to make reforms. February 12 or so, 2010, a publication came from CBN asking all investors, particularly in all, not NOSPETCO alone, in all those wonder banks, to come up with their information and submit it to them, which we did. Since then till now, nothing was heard.
Mr. Olusoga, when you all went to court, who were you suing?
Actually, the problem is about retrieving our money, because the money is in the central bank.
When you went to court, whom did you sue? Was it central bank you were suing?
They were joined. The central bank, SEC, were joined with NOSPETCO, of course. They have to be joined in the suit.
Okay.
But the problem now is the fighting between these fashionable groups, Martin Loko and Badejo. They can't agree. They have two different lawyers applying for the same people. And when they are to raise motion in the court, they'll be raising proposed motions. And the Supreme Court said they should go and be together, be on the same front, fight this fight and on the same front. They refuse to.
When you started out the court process,
yes.
Is it these two people that were leading the processes and all?
They were together initially. It was this money that they collected that caused the problem. This money that they're collecting from the investors to pursue the case that caused the problem within themselves. So they can now, they can't go on the same page. This is the problem we're having. And people are dying,
So
people are dying.
You haven't only lost the money that you gave to NOSPETCO,
yes.
You are also getting money together to pay lawyers. And the lawyers have made away with your money as well.
In actual fact, the initial contribution, I'm only just being modest.
Yes.
Some people paid 25,000, some paid 50,000, depending on the number of slots you have.
Yeah.
But I used the minimum, which was 5,000, to multiply 14,000. We're having 70 million. And that 70 million went down the drain.
Okay.
I paid.
You paid how much?
I paid 5,000 for my own at United Compound. I paid another one at Ugudu at this Mr. Masuko's office. That's 10,000 naira times 14,000. That's nearly 140 million naira that was paid.
Plus the money that you lost
That's the
already.
money that we lost. And
okay.
there's no result since. So we are appealing to the government to come to our aid. That's what we are appealing. We don't want any court case again.
In actual fact, our appeal, because I have told my colleagues, we are not quarreling with anybody. We are not apportioning blames to anyone. What we want, at least it is on record, that money that was taken from the banks were deposited in the vaults of the central bank. And it is still there.
Were you able to confirm that?
Like I said, a letter from NDIC
states that clearly.
Yes. In actual fact, I can give a copy. That's a copy from NDIC.
Okay.
Stating that the money is in central bank and they are making efforts to see how they will make refund.
Okay.
Okay, we would take a break. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll bring in Mr. Kayode to tell us his own side of it. But while we're doing that, it's also said that Femi Falana has taken over the case at the Supreme Court.
Sincerely, I must tell you, not to my knowledge. I see it as a decoy.
A decoy.
Okay, all right. So there's a lot of things to be cleared out here. But we'll take a moment and we'll be back to continue this conversation. Just stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. We still have doing this shout for NOSPETCO investors. Mr. Akinyemi Kayode is one of those who is an investor as well. Mr. Kayode, so since you did your investment, your colleagues have told us what's happened. Your funds have been frozen, and you've been going to court for one thing today. So what is it that you people want now?
Thank you so much. Actually, we forgot to appreciate you for your concern. This is a privilege to even air this cause. You see, what we are here for and what we have been saying through Twitter, through Facebook, through social media is an appeal. Is an appeal. We are begging, we are pleading to the federal government, to the powerful, to the influential people, that they should look into our case. Let me just give you one instance. My own biological father died as a result of this case. Fine, he was a branch manager of UBA at Otta. He has been into this investment before he retired. But the major reason why he invested is to upgrade his life. Then he invested for himself, he invested for me, he invested for my mom. My uncles, wherever they are, they also had different slots. But all of a sudden, group of banks just came in and lay allegations that NOSPETCO oil and gas company is an illegal business that led to funds being seized by Central Bank of Nigeria. You see, after many years, I would tell you this is the 13th year that we have been on this issue. Now, inspiration from God just came to me that, see, people are dying. I have some of my dad's colleagues, they are depressed. Some even lost their sight just because of, when someone is sick, it will cause a lot of pain. It will even bring up some kind of sicknesses. So I just came up and said, let me create a platform and bring investors together for the fact that previous leaders have been trading on our contributions that we made towards appealing at the court. We got to know that they are not really working for our interests. They are working and they have been working for their own pecuniary interest. So my own point here is, we are appealing to the federal government of Nigeria, to His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, to His Excellency Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, and to the Senate President, and to the Speaker of House of Representatives that they should look into our plea. Many investors are crying. In fact, let me even tell you one, it's not a testimony, but let me call it a testimony. I do receive calls as a major admin in our platform. Sir, in fact, we cannot even send our children to school. We are unable to live a normal life just because of this money. Fine, I understand that CBN seized the money majorly because of protecting the investors. But I don't know, the previous leader have taken steps by appealing, and it got to an extent of approaching investors to contribute money. And all of a sudden, the contribution from investors have now entered their head. Just imagine there was a year I paid, we contribute based on our slots. Actually, I don't want to.
The minimum is 5,000.
Yes, the minimum is 5,000, but I don't want to air
the lowest slot.
Yes, I don't want to air the number of slots. But the major interest I'm having here is my uncle is involved. They are my dad. They are involved. My mom, myself, my late dad. So we were all involved. And the last money I paid for only myself and my dad alone was 25,000 naira. Talk less of another subunit under NOSPETCO that we call the flagship. If we add flagship to the amount we paid, you will know that we have really suffered enough.
Okay, Mr. Akwenubi.
Thank you so much.
What did your lawyer say you had to do to be able to get this money?
Fine. Thank you very much. It will interest you to know that the lawyers don't even address anybody. He will rather come through his friend, Matiluko, who will come up with a spurious news. We have won again. That's always the message he will send to investors. We have won again. Come to so place so that you come and have the good news. When you get there, you discover that it's another avenue to ask for money from investors. And what is the victory that he's celebrating? The victory that he has been recognized over and above his other person. We asked him, is that why we are contributing money? To identify who is superior to the other.
Have you found out what you should actually do to be able to get the CBN or the NDIC to release these monies to you?
That's exactly why we're here at China. And we thank
in 13 years, I mean, certainly you have found out something.
Forgive us the audience to even hear our views, because that's why we want to appeal to the presidency through the president, the vice president, the AGF, and all those are concerned. We just an appeal to release our money, because other investors, similar companies that have the same issue with NOSPETCO have gotten their money back. So we don't know why we are not getting our own back. So that's the way we got this.
In actual fact, except for this opportunity you are giving us, the powers that be that should look into our matter are inaccessible. I gave you a letter from NDIC. It was my personal effort to ask or demand for the situation. And they said we should go and sit down. That letter is from 2010, that they were going to come back to us. I sent a reminder.
And they haven't.
And it was not even acknowledged.
17th of August, 2010.
Up till now, there is no response from there. So the only means that by which we can talk to them is what Channel has given us through their social responsibility avenue. And we thank you for it.
Kyrie, we're going to talk about what, if you have found out what to do to get your monies. You said you're going to speak to it.
I didn't get.
So what is it that you're supposed to do? What have you found out that you need to do to get your money?
Okay, thank you so much. You see, since we are in a country whereby we cannot really gain access to the president, the Senate, and the powerful, influential people, I think the era we are now is to use technology to communicate to them.
Is this what your lawyer said you should do to get your money back?
Okay, let me come in as regards that. You see, we, like what Mr. Ben said earlier, these lawyers that you mentioned, we have found that whether they or the so-called previous representatives are the ones dwindling us or playing game at the extent of our money, but we, in a nutshell, we have not received any tangible outcome for past 13 years. So sitting back and allowing your money to be deposited in with the central bank and seeing your family living in destitution without doing...
So this move here is you've lost all other means of expressing your views. It's like, okay, this is our last hope.
Exactly.
Okay, let me read parts of this letter from NDIC. It is pertinent at this point to correct your erroneous impression that, quote, several billions of naira of these Wonder Banks fund had remained in the vaults of various commercial banks as free funds, end of quote. The fact is that the illegal fund managers had made away with a very large proportion of their collections by the time the government agencies intervened to protect their customers.
Yes, ma'am.
A large proportion of the funds.
I agree.
So the 23 billion you're talking about,
That is not NOSPETCO. You see, what they are saying there is the collective money.
Yeah.
Because there are some all these small banks take out with funny names. Those ones escaped. What is his name? The owner of NOSPETCO is still alive.
Okay.
Mayaki is still alive, and he confirmed that he did not touch investors' money, which of course our own money, which is 23.7 billion, is still intact with CBN.
Yes.
He's still alive. He could be asked to come and confirm that.
So all you want
all we want
why you are here today
Yes.
is just to appeal
yes.
to
We are not going back.
Yes, we're not-
to the powerful,
We are not
the
going back
powers
to
that be,
Yes.
that our issue be looked into. Yes, it is possible one or two mistakes were made.
Yes.
It is enough that we made that mistake to have invested in NOSPETCO. We were not privy to know that it is illegal. But since our fund is still available and intact with CBN, let us have it in whatever form. Because if they don't believe we had, because it was specifically NOSPETCO, they said we should write. I said there's a publication from CBN on that effect, which of course this is the letter with which I submitted my own details. And on their register, because they registered it, is number 558. If they bring out that register, they will still find it. And others did the same thing. The letter, the publication was made by CBN, not by any individual. That is the publication. That's the publication from CBN.
so this money is sitting in the Central Bank of
Yes,
Nigeria.
yes, that is the publication.
February 12th of The Guardian of February 12, 2008, Interagency Committee on Illegal Fund Managers, Wonder Banks, Deposits, Investments with Illegal Funds, says Central Bank of Nigeria is in collaboration with the Securities and Exchange Commission, Corporate Affairs Commission, like Deposit Insurance Corporation, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, and the Nigeria Police hereby invites members of the public who have deposited or invested funds with the underlisted companies or other similar companies which have been operating without proper authorization to provide relevant particulars concerning their deposits, investments immediately and the affected companies are NOSPETCO Oil and Gas is one of them there.
Yes.
That was the first one.
Yeah.
And I know it's quite a long list and
Yes.
all of that.
Money.
Yes, go ahead, Kayode.
You know, the funny thing, it's funny to me and it's saddening to me is that we invested in this oil and gas company. And the so-called, though I don't know who elected them, the so-called representatives, they went ahead raising an appeal to the court. Now, instead of, being of utmost good faith by representing the investors, you went ahead to tell investors to be paying contributions at PWD Ikeja. We paid the unit under NOSPETCO that is called Flagship. Some that had slots in NOSPETCO also paid for their own for their personal slot in Flagship. Another time at Ogudu, GRA, there was a time they called us that we should pay for PIN.
Yes.
5,000 naira.
PIN.
Yes, that. Sorry, sir. Okay.
In actual fact, they said we are now at the point of getting our refund.
Funds.
That we should pay a certain amount, 10,000. That at with that 10,000, a PIN, that's a personal identification number, will be given to us. I asked a question.
And that's the PIN you will use to collect the
collect
money.
the money. And I asked, which account?
Just
This
imagine the way they. Just
He
imagine.
couldn't answer. So I told my colleagues who were there then, please,
Not
this
to
is
pay.
another
Scam.
Scam.
Right.
Just imagine the way they are trading
Yes.
on our money. So
And that lawyer we are talking of was part of that arrangement.
Scam.
And I said, how can you want to give us a PIN on a non-available or non-existent account?
So a year after, we were called again. Those people that were unable to meet up to pay 5,000 naira, those people were unable to pay 5,000 naira, were also charged the following year to pay 10,000 naira because they were unable to pay 5,000 naira the previous year. So they collected 10,000 naira from them again. And if you multiply this money by the number of investors, and before then and now, many have died. Many are depressed. Many are not living a normal life. Thank you.
Sorry, sir. Can I just do a little round?
Okay.
Like we said, ab initio, our purpose here is not to confront anybody, not to, apportion blames to anybody. We are only here to appeal, make an appeal to the CBN governor, the NDIC Director General, the presidency, the Senate, the senators and the Senate President, the Speaker and the members of House of Rep,
CBN. The CBN.
and the Minister
SEC.
of Finance to please come to our aid. We are begging, we are appealing to their conscience. We have suffered enough for 13 years. They should please make a reform.
Okay.
Make a move to reform.
There's a tweet from Mr. Okungbade. Can Mr. Akinyemi Kayode let us know the platform he created for NOSPETCO investors? Many NOSPETCO investors are not even aware that such platform exists.
Thank you. Many that are on the platform, if you check the letter with the paper, position paper we submitted to you some days ago, you will discover that we have 114 names and contacts.
Yes.
And we just summarize it. We still have more on our platform. So the platform has been existing for the past 3 months. It has been existing. So if anyone wants to join our platform, you can. The way we join our platform is because we have our rules and regulations. Because, we have scammers everywhere. So if you want to join our platform, I can give you my number. You first of all contact me. I will verify if you are
An investor.
an investor.
Okay.
then I will now know whether to add you
Add you, yes.
or to reject you.
Mr. Kumbaye, maybe you need to tweet us your number so that Mr. Kayode will get in touch with you and confirm that you're actually an investor and get you onto the platform.
Or we'll give Mr. Mr. Kayode your Twitter handle. He will send you a message, and you guys will sort yourself out from there.
Exactly.
So they don't put your number on public platform.
Yes. Ujiagbe says, please, NOSPETCO people should report to the National Assembly. Well, that's what they're doing on this platform.
Yes,
they're hoping that the members of the
exactly,
National Assembly can
I'm
hear
asking
them.
everybody to please come and help us. The name of this group is NOSPETCO Investors Representative Group, NIRG. So
Yes,
you can join us at our
Okay,
Twitter
let me
handle.
report on that. We have our Twitter handle, at NOSPETCO R. That is, if you want to join us.
NOSPETCO.
NOSPETCO, yeah.
NOSPETCO R.
Yeah. So
Okay.
all we do there is pleading.
OUR.
Yes.
Okay, NOSPETCO R. Okay, so Mr. Kumbaye, that's the handle. You could send a message to Mr. Kumbaye. They have their handle, NOSPETCO OUR. OUR. So send your message to them. They will get in touch with you and then verify if you're a member. But I want to thank you all for coming, and we want to wish you well. We hope that your appeal will be heard and your monies will be gotten to you. But this is in no way encouraging investment in Ponzi schemes. It is not. It is not good. It is not right. Please. Akinyemi Kayode and Olufowote Olushoga, Benedict Ikwenobe, thank you, gentlemen.
We appreciate Channels Television for this. I don't know how to describe it. In actual fact, I can go home today and sleep because I know you have really helped us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for hearing us. Thank you very much.
Sunrise, this is where we have to sign out. Today, our artist of the week, we understand she's stuck in traffic. She says she's been in traffic for 2 hours, 30 minutes.
Oh dear, she must be coming from the other side
Oh,
of town.
from the other side.
So that's it for today. We wish to bring you, we hope to bring you a new edition next week. I'm Alero, wishing you a very happy weekend and stay safe. Sanitize your hands, wash your hands, wear your mask. That is the most important part of it. Wear your mask when you are out of your house. See you next week.
Nell Taigbe, thank you. And for you that sent in a tweet about no sanitizer on your table, we have small sanitizers in our pockets, but don't worry, we'll get back the bigger one on the table so that you get to see it as well. But please take care of yourself. As we said at the beginning of the show, reach out to someone, make a call, send a text, check on a friend, check on a brother, check on a sister, and be sure that they're doing well. We wish you well. See you again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.